Madam Secretary, I want to ask you about one of the first claims you made in the immediate aftermath of the shooting of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. You accused them both, I think, within hours of engaging in domestic terrorism. You've testified earlier that you did so based on preliminary field reports. Who told you that these two victims were engaged in domestic terrorism? Where did you get that information from?
I've said before, and will repeat again for you, Senator, that those reports were coming from on-the-ground agents that were there. It was a chaotic scene.
So you spoke to agents on the ground who told you they were domestic terrorism?
Yes.
Domestic terrorists?
My team was working with me, talking to those agents on the ground to relay as much information as possible that we could to the American people.
Your team told you that people in Minneapolis said they were domestic terrorists. Did they tell you whether they had any basis for that claim within either minutes or hours of the shooting of Alex Preddy and Renee Good?
Sir, if you look back at the day of January 24th, there was a press conference earlier in the day, and then I held one hours later.
So I'm asking
and we were also
asking you, did you determine whether there was any basis for the sensational claim, a claim that proved to be utterly false, that these two victims were engaged in domestic terrorism?
There is an investigation ongoing. The FBI is leading that. There's also internal investigations that are ongoing.
I'm asking you
we'll continue to bring the facts forward.
Excuse me, Madam Secretary. I'm asking about your statements in the immediate aftermath of these shootings. Your statements based on completely unvetted information that if it was even provided to you proved to be utterly false, that you were content to tell the whole country. Do you have any concern about misleading the whole country? Don't you think in the immediate aftermath of a shooting that you should provide only vetted information to the public?
One of the most intense moments in a recent Senate hearing unfolded when Senator Adam Schiff confronted Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem over two highly controversial issues. First, Schiff challenged Noem's public statements following deadly ICE-related shootings, questioning whether she relied on unverified information that later proved inaccurate. Then, the hearing shifted to another explosive topic: a reported $220 million DHS advertising campaign and allegations surrounding its contracting process. The questioning quickly turned into a heated back-and-forth, with interruptions, sharp accusations, and repeated demands for direct answers. Let's break it down.
How is the public to have any confidence in investigations done of excessive use by ICE agents if, number one, you make immediate and false statements about the victims, and number two, you don't let any independent agency conduct an investigation? How is the public supposed to believe anything your agency says or finds?
These investigations are being done in the same way that they always are.
No,
and the FBI is leading. There are internal investigations as well. In these situations, ICE has an internal investigation.
Excuse me.
Well, would you like to hear about the investigations that are ongoing?
You're not allowing state and local investigators to participate.
That is not my decision.
And furthermore,
the Department of Justice and the FBI decides how investigations go.
They're not being conducted in the way investigations are always done. Are you telling me that in the case of Miramar Martinez, that having an agent involved in shooting her, drive a vehicle that was used to ram into her vehicle, drive that vehicle, that evidence, away from the scene and 1,000 miles to Maine, you're telling me that's the way investigations are always done? That you let an agent involved in an officer-involved shooting drive a key piece of evidence 1,000 miles away? Is that how you conduct investigations at DHS?
I'm not conducting these investigations into these. The Department of Justice with the FBI is conducting those investigations, and CBP.
For how investigations are conducted
when
agents under your control are engaged in the
investigations.
Use of force?
The investigations into our officers have not changed under my leadership or the President's leadership than what they were under the previous administration.
That's being done by Pam Bondi's Justice Department. I'm not responsible for that.
Our internal investigations are following the same policies that they always have.
That's the orders of Stephen Miller, so I'm not responsible for that either. But you are responsible. You are responsible. You could insist on independent investigations, but you're not. You could wait until there's good information after a shooting before you go to the press and the public and mislead them. Let me ask you about a different subject, and that is the waste of resources at your agency, the continued allegations of favoritism and contracting, and let me in particular focus on the $220 million ad campaign, many of which feature you very prominently. An ad campaign that is more expensive than the whole budget for One Fight After Another or any Hollywood blockbuster film. So let me ask you, you said that the president approved this vast expenditure on a media campaign that largely profiles you. How do you know that? Did he approve it to you personally?
This media campaign was critical in telling the world and this country that we are enforcing the laws in the United States of America. That if you're in your country illegally, then you should leave now, or if you want the chance to come back to the United States someday in the future. If you don't, you will be detained and will be removed and never get the chance to come back. It's been extremely effective in sending the message.
Madam Secretary, how do you know the president approved of this $220 million contract?
We had conversations and worked with OMB to make sure that the funding was there.
Excuse me, I just want to clarify. So you had conversations directly with the president where he approved this $220 million ad campaign that significantly features you?
Sir, this campaign was talking about making sure that people knew that our laws were being enforced.
Again, I want to make sure that
we continue to go through the process. It was a competitive bid campaign. I had nothing of choosing.
Excuse me, so the president approved this expenditure?
Sir, I've been explaining this to you when it was a competitive process.
Well,
the career officials at the Department of Homeland Security
you don't want to confirm the president's role in this, and I can understand why. But you say it was a competitive process, and yet this contract went to a company that didn't exist 2 weeks before they got the contract.
Sir, I can't speak to that. I don't know the name of that company.
You're saying you can't speak to it, but let me ask you this. Are you saying it's just a coincidence? It's just a happy circumstance? It's just a fortuitous event that $143 million of that went to a subcontractor that you worked with extensively as governor in South Dakota or during your campaign, that is just coincidental?
The same process was followed for this media contract than any other media contract that's happened.
Just a coincidence.
The Department of Homeland Security. I had nothing to do, and no political had any.
Nothing to do with it.
No choosing of who the contractors. And we don't have a legal process for weighing in on subcontractors. It doesn't exist.
Excuse me. Just a coincidence. Also, then, that this $143 million.
To ask questions, you should want the answers.
I'm trying to ask a question.
You're trying to say that this was a political decision, and it absolutely was not.
I'm just asking you. So it's just a coincidence that a $143 million subcontract went to the husband of your press person.
Don't forget to like, comment, and hit the subscribers button for more political and controversial showdowns.